welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel and I am very much excited for what I'm going to show you today. In my past video, I mentioned that I'm doing a translation this summer, and I thought, why don't we do a new series in this channel to kind of test out the blog format. In the past, I made one blog, 1 week of my life, which now is very endearing to me, like to watch it, even though I hated the whole thing because I feel like it was the most boring thing ever. But now that I watched it and my life has been so different, now I'm like, oh, I like the blog format. I can always look back on it and, I don't know, reflect. Anyways, we're going to do a translation blog today. Yay! So my plans for this video were to wake up early and just work during the morning in the translation. I have a bunch of research to do and I want to show you how I organize the whole process. Because I am doing it for college credit, but it's my project, I have to do a proposal, and that was already established. I already sent and it's approved by 2 of my professors, but I had to come up with deadlines on my own, a methodology, and just little goals that I'm setting for myself so I can actually produce this thing. And I have never translated anything ever. I have some things in my bullet journal, but mostly I had just a Notion page dedicated to this project. And I think the goal for today is going to do some research about Castellanos. I already have one of her essays translated. Ideally, I will take notes on the next one I'm translating to look for things that I'm going to need for my annotation. And if we have time and energy, do another translation or start one translation of one of the other essays. My first deadline is on July 20th. Today is June 29th. The final deadline is on September 1st. So let's just start.
First thing I do is that I finish setting up my Notion, and I can show you that in a different video, but here I'm just doing my research, taking notes, reading, and really getting myself acquainted what theories said about Rosario Castellanos.
You're gonna see my first reaction. Okay, it's not bad. I might make my own now. Wow.
So after having left overnight oats, as you can see, I just kept writing my notes, and I think I should change into writing into actual Notion pages from the very beginning instead of just writing in paper and then having to spend time passing it to my Notion. But I don't know, I just really like that first contact with the paper, and it makes me concentrate much better.
So it's 3 p.m. now. I am still reading. I found these really good articles and essays, kind of developing everything that Rosario Castellanos does in her own essays with resources from other feminist theories. What I mean is, like, they take something that she says in one of her essays and then they go, okay, this aligns completely with something that Judith Butler said, or something that, I don't know, Marta Lama said, or something along those lines after what Rosario Castellanos wrote. So it's really showing how she is a pioneer in feminist theory, specifically in Mexico, but also just internationally. And I'm taking a lot of notes. And the process, I want to talk a bit of what I am doing. This essay I'm reading by Catherine Merrihew is in Spanish. So all my notes on paper are in Spanish of what she's saying, what I'm noticing from things on my own summaries, and what I'm gonna do when I write on my Notion notes are going to be in English and just pretty much very bullet pointed summary for when I'm doing that translation and the annotation, the footnotes, the introduction, so I can really draw back from it. And I'm going to have specific Notion pages. I have a table of secondary literature where I click on it, you open a new page, and then everything is organized, so nothing is going to be misorganized, or I'm going to be like, oh, who said this or what source it is. I really want to keep this organized. I live right next door to a church and a daycare, so there's always noise in the background. I'm so sorry for that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on what I am doing now. I think I'm gonna keep taking notes until 4 and then just pass my notes to Notion. I'm going to cook, take a little break, do some readings, and probably come back to it in the evening. Hi, so it's a bit later. It's 5:52. I thought I was going to do more things, but I didn't. And I'm thinking that tomorrow I might have to hit up the library and check out some books of feminist theory to really use these notes as a starting point for my annotations and my analysis on the feminist theories in Rosario Castellanos' essay. I'm thinking of doing that tomorrow. Reread one of her essays and annotate it as I go.
I noticed that I never say why I picked Rosario Castellanos for this project, and I only have to say that I've always admired her, and I'm always astonished of how little recognition she gets in Mexico and of course outside of Mexico. I think she is our best poet and that more people should know her because she's my idol.
Hi, I completely forgot we were doing a vlog. So I didn't record anything this morning. Not that you missed out on a lot. I only came here. It's around 10-ish. It's June 30. We are in the library. Well, we're in a special room in the library of my English department. It's called the Gothic room. And I love it. It's very hot outside. I'm sweating like a pig. Here is like as if it was dark, as if it was, you know, a little town in New England, because I can just lock myself here and work for, I don't know, until 4-ish, 5, but they closed the library. And last time, I didn't even notice when someone already came and kicked me out. That's why we came. We also came because I need to pick up some books on feminist theory. And this is the room where they got. So I found one so far. Betty Freeman's The Feminine Mystique. Rosario Castellanos writes an essay about Betty Freeman, and I already translated, but I kind of want to, if not read it, skim through it so I can explain and do these annotations referring to the original text. And basically what she says is, yeah, sure, this is great, but we cannot just take this model and adapt it to Mexico and just Latin American countries, because the privileges found here, as Frieden focuses on white middle-class housewives, is just not the reality of the Latin American woman, because there are so many privileges of race and class there that just looking into the scopes of gender makes all the other struggles secondary, while they all form part of the same matrix of oppression. So right now I'm looking for the other books I need, because I might be in the wrong library, apparently. Yeah, I'm in the wrong library.
I want to take the time to read to you a poem by Castellanos called Meditación en el umbral. No, no es la solución tirarse bajo un tren como la Ana de Tolstoy, ni apurar el arsénico de Madame Bovary, ni aguardar en los páramos de Ávila la visita del ángel con venablo, antes de liarse el manto a la cabeza y comenzar a actuar, ni concluir las leyes geométricas contando las vigas de la celda de castigo como lo hizo Sor Juana. No es la solución escribir mientras llegan las visitas en la sala de estar de la familia Austen, ni encerrarse en el ático de alguna residencia de Nueva Inglaterra y soñar con la Biblia de los Dickinson bajo una almohada de soltera. Debe de haber otro modo que no se llame Safo, ni Mesalina, ni María Egipciaca, ni Magdalena, ni Clemencia Isaura. Otro modo de ser humano y libre, otro modo de ser. No. It is not the solution to throw yourself under a train like Tolstoy's Anna, or to rush Madame Bovary's arsenic, or to wait for the visit in the moors of Avila of the angel when Venablo before rolling the mantle to his head and start acting. Not to conclude geometric laws counting the beasts of the punishment cell of Sor Juana did. It's not the solution to write while the visitors arrive in the Austen family's living room, or to lock yourself in the attic of a residence in New England and dream of the Dickinson's Bible under the maiden pillow. There must be another way that is not called Sappho, neither Mesalina nor Maria Egipciaca, neither Magdalena nor Clemencia Isaura. Another way of being human and free, another way of being.
And those are basically going to help me
do the annotations for the translation of this essay called Woman and Her Image by Rosario Castellanos, or La Mujer y su Imagen. And I also have, while I'm doing my translation, the way I do it is that I have the text in Spanish, I have an ebook, and I go line by line. I write it in my computer in a Word document in English. I take notes of things I don't know, or I try to remain as closely to the structure in the original Spanish and with the words. For example, I had a word, inmanente, that it means that translates to imminent in English. However, it will be easier to use the word inherent. Immanent feels like a word that a lot of people might not know, and I added a footnote with the description, but I think it's necessary to use that word because it has a philosophical background that is interesting. And I usually try to keep the words that Rosario Castellanos uses. However, sometimes it's not possible because they have a negative connotation in English that it doesn't exist or doesn't work the same way in Spanish. And I do have that essay in particular that I'm working on in English from Rosario Castellanos' reader, that done by Maureen Ahern, and she does the translation more freely. I mean, it's a style and it's a decision. I think that she definitely does the translation more reader friendly because Rosario Castellanos has so many comments and so many words that if I were her editor, I would probably be like, hey, you could make this easier to read. I am not her editor, I'm her translator. And I'm doing these annotations to provide the type of vocabulary and definitions that sometimes I don't even know, so I have to look them up. Well, I always have to look them up because I have to put from where I got it, the dictionary and stuff. I have to go and look up what Simone de Beauvoir actually said and where and on what page someone that is interested in this could go and reference it. And I think I'm going to continue now.
Hi, welcome back. It is much later now, 4:47. I ended up leaving early. I went to the other library to pick up the books that I told you about, and I came home. It was very hot. I was drenched in sweat. I took a shower, I ate something. So right now I thought I would show you the books I got from the library, and also I found some free books. My library has a table where you can just take away books that they don't want, need, or I think people often donate their own books and you can get them for free. So I got some goodies that I will show you. First, we're gonna start with the ones that I borrow. And those books that I borrow are for my translation. I'm feeling a bit like Santa Claus. And the also reason why I left early is because I saw in the weather app that it was going to rain, and right now it just stopped, but there was a bit of a summer thunderstorm that I hate, and I don't like bringing books with me raining because I feel like they're gonna get ruined. So yeah. Books for my translation. As I said, I'm translating the essays of Rosario Castellanos, well, a section of them, and I'm focusing on the themes of feminism, literature, and language. So I know her essays about indigenous communities and indigenous identity and how it is treated in Mexico are super interesting, and please go read them. But the extension on the correct points that I was going to fit into my proposal, it wouldn't have allowed me to. And right now I'm working on the first section with my first two essays about feminism. Therefore, the books I got are about feminism and feminist theory. Feminist theory, well, I'm gonna make a video about it. By some of the main people that you need to know are Simone de Beauvoir, Judith Butler, and Betty Friedan. Those are a second wave, third wave feminism, mostly second wave. That is the wave that Rosario Castellanos was living in and contributing in. She is very much of a pioneer in a lot of these themes for post-colonial countries because she tackles Virginia Woolf, Simone de Beauvoir, Betty Friedan, and she says, yes, but this is not applicable to our countries, or this is not as easy as it sounds when you're also oppressed by race, by class, by colonialism, etc., etc., etc. So I got The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. Then I got Feminist Literary Theory by, this is a reader edited by Mary Eagleton. If you're trying to get into any type of theory or literary criticism in general, I would recommend these types of reader edition, also the Cambridge companion of whatever topic you decide you want, just because it's easier to look into the broad scope of what's been written about this certain theory. It's offering extracts from Virginia Woolf, Ellen Morse, Elaine Showalter, like Adrienne Rich, Alice Walker, who talked and wrote extensively about this subjects, and in its topics like female tradition, women in literary production, gender and genre, what is attitude feminine or feminine writing, or the within questions. The feminist theory usually looks at like, do women actually write? Do we biologically, naturally write differently than men, or is it more that we write differently because we are socialized and we are thrown into different dynamics in the world that makes us experience it in a different way? I also got Remembering Rosario Castellanos by Oscar Bonifaz. It's a personal glimpse of the life and works of Rosario Castellanos. Bonifaz was friends with her, as far as I know. He's also a professor. I don't know if he's dead actually. R.I.P. if he's dead, I'm sorry. I got, this is in Spanish. This is called Nymphomania, the Feminist Discourse in the Poetic Works of Rosario Castellanos by Norma Alarcón. Norma Alarcón is a professor. It says that she was a professor at UC Berkeley. I don't know her. I don't know if she's still alive. But I just thought it was interesting because I got the thing about feminist literary theory, and now we see it applied directly to her works, which I think is going to be enriching. And even though it's only about her poetry, well, it dealt with a lot of the themes that she writes about in her prose. I got this little companion on Judith Butler. I read Judith Butler 3 years ago, something along those lines. And this is just very summarized ideas that I need a little refresher on. I was gonna get The Mad Woman in the Attic, but if you have seen The Mad Woman in the Attic by Gilbert and Goubart, it's a thingy like this. So I decided to pick that next time if I really need it, because I think that I'm pretty much covered because the reader I got also has excerpts about it. But then I saw this one by passing. It says The Mad Woman in the Attic after 30 years. So it kind of traces back like when The Mad Woman in the Attic was published, and then 30 years forward to see how much has it changed or how much scholarship has changed. Moving on. We only have 2 more left, I thought. So I also got this reader about feminist post-colonial theory because Mexico is a post-colonial country. And just for my personal, if I ever have time after all of those readings, it's called the Translation Studies Reader. It's also a reader by Lawrence Benuti, and by Benuti, I also have this by Benuti. It's called The Translation's Invisibility, the History of Translation. And I think this one is also, I guess, more useful than the history of translation, if I may say, because it has like genealogies and how is translation in the digital age done by, problems of translation. Who knows, I might become a translator for the rest of my life. Now switching gears, those are the books I got from the library. As I told you in my last video, I try not to buy books, but I have found a loophole with the free books, because I do get free books. Like if I see it and it's free, most likely I am going to get it. So free books that I got somehow related to what I'm gonna do in my studies, and some of them are just because. So first one is Henry IV, part 2, because last time I went and I got free books, I only got part 1. I don't know why I did that, but I saw it and I was like, oh, no one has taken part 2. I should take it. So I took it. Although the other one is the Arden edition and this is the Oxford Classics edition, which is fine. I like both. I mean, the other one is a bit chunkier. Is fine. Got all of the Shakespeare editions because I'm planning on doing my master's exam on Shakespeare. I still don't know what I'm gonna pick. I might do it about race and pick several plays and trace race and how it's done with, and talked about and portray and all of that. Or I might do gender or cross-dressing, I'm not sure. But that's why I'm gathering Shakespeare plays so I can study them. But that's for like a year and a half more, so we're chill about that. And then I got Critical Approaches to Literature by David Dages. David, we're just gonna call him David. And I picked it up because it has a very comprehensive first part explaining the philosophical inquiries like Plato and Aristotle and the search for pleasure, if literature should be about educational, or the poet as a moral teacher, all of those notions. I feel like it's a very good book to have to consult when you're writing an essay, when you want to go back to basics, or when you want to expand, because usually when you go into theories and you want to apply them, they already expect you to know this type of stuff that you should know if you study literature, but sometimes it's just so much information that everything gets blurry. Like, yes, I do know Aristotle, but I cannot recite it. So I thought this would be a good addition. Now this one is falling apart. This one is about Adrienne Rich. What I like is this is a selection of her prose, which is something I'm not very well versed in. And it's called On Lies, Secrets, and Silence. Selected Prose, 1966-1978. Done by Northern and Company. Adrienne Rich was writing at the same time period that Rosario Castellanos was active in. And both of them do talk about very motherhood and bondage, for example, women in honor, some notes online, the power of Emily Dickinson, the condition for work, the common world of women in the house. Like, all of these themes are also in Rosario Castellanos. I am very interested in seeing these same topics dealt by another female poet that I very much admire, which is also the same thing that people experience with Rosario Castellanos. The majority of people know her as a poet, and they don't really know her essay. Not just to have, but also to check it. Literary theory and anthology. And this is not a dictionary. You should get a dictionary or a reader. There's one by Polar and another one done by Penguin Random House, which are excellent editions that explain things to you. This is not explaining anything. This is just essays and excerpts from books by major theory. So I wouldn't recommend this if you are just coming into literary theory, because it's just going to be a lot and there's not much of an explanation. I think it's interesting as someone that is developing ideas and trying to write academic papers, and I feel like I should go back and read all of this, especially because I want to go for a PhD, but also just to enrich myself and my analysis with more of a substantial theoretical foundation, and also the language that they use. Because so those are the books I got. I think now I am going to be reading. I have a lot of things to read about, and I'm gonna be taking notes and kind of take the afternoon a bit more chill. Tomorrow I'm aiming on waking up early and starting early on more of the translation. The translation is what is most taxing for me, because I tend to want to look up every word. Am I fluent and native speaker of Spanish and English? Yes, but I am going to Google every freaking word and look at them in the dictionary. I even order a Spanish-English dictionary so I can go through them and not distract myself, because then I go over, you know, if you go on dictionary websites and you can see the roots and synonyms. And even though I try to keep the same words used in the original, sometimes it's strange. That's why the translation part, especially because it's the part that I am less skilled in, is the one that takes me the longest, and that I am always trying to off for whenever I feel like I'm gonna be more capable of, but I will never be in that position when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the best, I'm ready to do this. So we will do that tomorrow. Hi, happy Monday. Today is 4th of July, and no, I didn't do anything on my translation during the whole week because I was binge watching Stranger Things with my boyfriend. But today is Monday. Today we're going back to the action. The goals for today: we're going to finish the translation of that one essay, maybe hold back on the annotations because doing them at the same time results in a lot of time, and I just want to have that translated at least as a first draft, and then add the annotations and go into research mode. Hi, Hi, it is much later. I just took a lunch break and I'm gonna keep going. I have already almost 4 pages down of translation. I know it is a very slow process, okay? I'm going to continue. I think it's going to be in total around 10 or 11 pages for this essay, but this is the longest, so that's why I wanted to start with this one. And I got myself a fresh cup of tea. The day is kind of gloomy today, so I got cold. Hi, just checking in with you guys that you're balancing in a pile of books that is very precariously, but it is what it is. I think I need a break because I am stuck in a sentence that I don't even know if it makes sense and I can barely understand what it says. And I'm reading it from the original Spanish, but my translation is just too much. But I don't know, because I don't want to put in too much of my own, because this I want it to be as least present in the translation as I can. So I'm gonna read you the sentence and you can let me know if you understand it or not. The young lady gropes blindly with an anatomy of which she has equivocal notions and ends with a surprise, with terror, with scandal, in dark passages and basements whose names is secret of the other, and she does not succeed. She must not succeed, neither with the figure that contains her, nor with the performance of what serves her as a room, nor with the open field exit to light, to freedom. Now, my problem is that last part of the sentence. Well, this is all a long 5-line sentence. When I do, she does not succeed, she must not succeed, neither with the figure that contains her, not with the performance of what serves her as a room, nor with the open field. Like, these are 3 clauses and there's no comma, there's no punctuation in the original, but I feel there must be. And with the performance of what serves her as a room, feels like it's not easy to understand. Like, I would have many doubts if I were reading this, and I will get a headache from this line because I'm already getting a headache now. I'm gonna read it in Spanish for those of you who understand Spanish, and so you can have the context. La señorita se desplaza a tientas en una anatomía de la que tiene nociones equívocas y desemboca en sorpresa, con terror, con escándalo, en pasadizos oscuros, en sótanos cuyo nombre es secreto de el otro, y no acierta, no debe acertar ni con la figura que la contiene, ni con el funcionamiento de lo que le sirve de habitáculo, ni con la salida al campo abierto, a la luz, a la libertad. So here, what it's simply saying is that she must not know the secret, the name of the secret room. She must not know who is entrapping her and how this entrapment works and where the exit is. Yeah, I don't like it. Back. Something you must know about me is that I am a homebody. I love being at home. If I don't need to go out, I don't get that feeling that a lot of people get when they're restless and they need to go out and get fresh air. That has never been me. I doubt that would ever be me. So I really have to make myself leave the house. And that's why we went to the library. We were there like 4 hours, which I think it could have been longer. I could have stayed until 5, which was my goal. But I got hungry and I brought home with me this dictionary for my translation, because I am required to have like a one dictionary that I am listening in one of my sources. And I feel like when I just Google words, sometimes it's from Oxford English Dictionary, and sometimes it's from like Merriam-Webster, and something is from something else. This one though is Spanish to English and then English to Spanish dictionary, so it's a bit different. Used it today at the library to see if I liked it and if it wasn't taking too much time, but I found it was quite perfect. I'm using Oxford English Dictionary and La Real Academia Española for Spanish words. I want you to imagine though, me, weak ass person I am, carrying this thing, walking from the library to my apartment, just like a 20-30 minute walk. So yeah, I am committed to this project, as you can see. And I think that right now I am going to take a break. I am hungry, and I'm probably going to be reading The House of Mirth that I have as my recreational reading right now. Hi, today is July 6th. I forgot to talk to you in the morning, but you saw me working a bit. We are so close on finishing the translation of this essay in particular. I am so happy because this is the longest essay. Today I'm gonna work here, but then I'm going to school because I need to drop some books, and I have like a reading club with some of my friends and a professor who is also advising my translation. So I have some questions I want to ask, and that's going to be the best time to do it, not over email, because emails give me anxiety. Hi, it's Friday 8th of July, 10 a.m., 10 or something. And today I'm going to start working on the actual footnotes of my essays. As I tried to do before and I have failed, is that I try to do the translations and just mark what needs to be researched in, but not go too much into detail while I was doing the translation. But in many cases, I just kind of went into this rabbit hole of, oh, but what is this? Now that I'm looking it up, I should just write it down and like go slowly. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. I think I have around 40 footnotes right now that need to be worked on. And I was going to go to the library to do this, but I just want to lay in my pajamas and not go outside today. So I'm gonna stay here. I also wish that I could give you in this blog some more insight of how to do a translation, what it entails or anything, but I have no idea. I'm just winging this up and like coming up with systems and plans for me to succeed and enjoy it as well. But as far as I can tell, translation is something that we don't give enough credit to, and translators in general, because it's not enough that you are fluent in both languages, because I am. And it's not enough. That's why I have the dictionary. That's why I'm always Googling everything, because there's this moment when you want to respect what the author is saying and you're trying to go into a deeper layer of not analyzing, but really go into what is this sentence communicating, how is it, and try to respect what is style. But there's going to be a moment when I'm going to have to step away from that and do this editing work that I still haven't done. How do I make this sentence more readable in English? How do I make this sentence, thinking of my intended audience as students, understand this and approach this and be able to digest this without having to encounter the Spanish or understand the Spanish in the context, but also provide the context. It's just this enormous amount of work that it's so silent and it's so underappreciated, I feel. Hi! Today is Monday, July 11. I didn't work during the weekend. I'm still completing the footnotes of the longest essay. So I want to edit the 2 essays I already have and make them more readable, as the translation right now is kind of wordy and awkward. Right now it's 10:30 a.m. I just showered, I had my breakfast, and I'm ready to go. Hello, today's Tuesday, the 12th of July,
and it's around noon. I'm gonna go meet a friend at the library so we can work on our own projects together. The essay I'm translating is about women, the image, the mythification of women, and Rosario Castellanos was really name dropping all of these German philosopher guys. And I had to make footnotes about all of them and research why were they important to her and why was she mentioning them. The level of misogyny that they were like handling, it was just unbearable. And in case you want to see the whole fit, I'm very proud of it. I don't know, I think it's cute. Water, essentials, and we're ready to go. That was 2 days ago. Yesterday I got my period, so I checked out of life because it always traumatizes me. But I am back at it again. Today is July 14th. Just took a shower. I'm gonna finish my footnotes. I am very close to finishing. I have 75 footnotes and I'm on number 50. So yay. I'm gonna send my first advance on July 20th. I want to have these 2 done by Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna squeeze a third one in for this first due date, as the professors only want to see how am I doing. I guess also curiosity, because none of them have read the essays I'm translating because they're originally in Spanish. I mean, one of them speaks Spanish, but they're not very well acquainted with the material. So I guess they're just curious of why am I to make a big deal of this author and these essays.
All done. It's 2 p.m. It took me 2 hours, which I think it was fine. Getting very hot in this room. C'est la vie, right?
Thanks for watching.